Sorry.
I want to move to the NFC East.
Of course you do.
I'm going to do a unhost-like thing, and I'm going to go first because I got feelings.
Rude.
I got feelings.
Two of us didn't even know the fourth quarterback in that division until you wrote the note. That's the fucking truth.
Yeah, it's accurate. I should have
Mike
put.
still
I should have
doesn't know
put
it, and he's
Ryan
reading it.
Fitzpatrick.
Yeah,
I should have just been like Ryan
quarterback?
Fitzpatrick. Sam Howell is the actual quarterback, I think.
Sounds like a radio host.
He
Who
could
is
be a radio host. My number one in the NFC East is this is a 1, and there will be a 1A because I got feelings. My 1 is Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Because of the offensive line and the wide receivers. I'm going to get into that in a second. My 1A is the Daniel Jones.
Oh, yeah.
1A is Danny Dimes. My 3 is Dak. And my 4 is whoever the fuck Washington decides is going to be their quarterback this season. The ghost of Jason Campbell, as I put it, because that's the only one I could remember of note. Mark Brunell, I guess, was also one of those.
No. Well, yeah, he was, but I don't think he was good anymore.
Not
up
good.
there.
He was not good.
Fitzpatrick would be, Heineke.
Heineke did well. Heineke did do well.
Well, you had to go
but
way
they never
back, though.
started him. They never started. I don't never understood.
Heineke's not good enough to be a 17-week starter.
No, but like he was winning them games. I guess maybe they didn't want to win games. Regardless, not good. Not a good franchise. Anyway, I want to do a blind QB draw, and I want you guys to tell me who you would take out of these two quarterbacks because this relates to my NFC feelings about and
yes, 1A, 1B
about 1A.
Loaded
1B.
question. I will get it right.
I'm excited. Quarterback A has a 68.7 completion percentage. He threw for, and this is all last year's stats. He threw for 4,739 yards, 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. He had 8 fumbles and he lost 3. That's quarterback A. Quarterback B threw for a 66.5 completion percentage, 3,701 yards, 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 9 fumbles, 2 lost. Who do you take in that sampling?
God, I want to know the rushing touchdowns, and you didn't give them, I don't think.
I did not give them.
On purpose, I think.
That is true.
Fuck. Because it's obviously, Mikey, that's Dimes and Hurts. Got to be their lines.
Dimes and Hurts.
Oh, Dak attack is in there then. Wait, you said, I thought we were talking about only the 4 from the NFC East. We're not?
No, this is a different. Yeah, one of them is an NFC East quarterback. The other one is a quarterback that a lot of people are low on. And I wanted to do this blind kind of QB test.
That's my bad. Mike,
no,
you knew that it was
I misinterpreted, most likely, or misexplained.
So one from the NFC East and one out. So there was a lot of fumbles. We just talked about Allen's fumbles. Did we get? Is he one of? No, because you guys said he threw for 35. Right, but one of them was that
25, 25 and 10, and then 22 and 6 was the other one.
There's no way. Are one of those stat lines Hurts, Mikey? Because they didn't. Ooh,
it's got to be Hurts as one of them,
right? And then it's got to be that the other one is one that we would all be like, "Oh, that's
gonna be like Russell Wilson or something." That we're like, we're not excited about that at all.
Ooh,
but I don't care. I'm still excited about Hurts.
I'm still excited about Hurts too. I'm like very pro Hurts. Now I'm a little nervous because I think they kept the head coach. I think they lost the OC.
Lost both
to
OC
the Colts.
and DC.
Yeah, I'm not worried about DC because I think Sirianni was a D guy, I think. Don't quote me on that though. And then losing the OC, as long as the head coach stays, it depends. It depends if you can keep the same offense. Steichen was the guy's name, and he was really good at getting Hurts to the same thing that Josh Allen went through. Josh Allen was like good at running, couldn't throw right. Hurts was there, but he got him there fast. We're both pro Hurts. Isn't he your quarterback in one of the leagues?
Probably. One of the fantasy leagues. I would those stats. One, I wasn't listening to the first part. So
I love it.
But they all sounded kind of similar to me. I would go with the first quarterback. The first quarterback as the one that I would just blind draw in stats.
I would take the second one because he threw less picks.
Okay.
And lost less fumbles, I think. I think he protected the ball
lose
better.
less fumbles.
I'll
he had
take
9 fumbles, but he only
dropped
lost
it
2.
more. Yeah.
Right, but I would rather take ball protection and result ball protection.
But see, to me, the lost is a misleading stat. It's putting it on the ground in the first place.
Well, because you're still losing yardage. It doesn't fucking matter.
And once it goes out of your hands and it hits the ground, it's totally up to luck. It's an oblong shaped ball. It can bounce anywhere.
That's true. That is a true statement. So quarterback A is Justin Herbert.
Heard of him.
And quarterback B is Jalen Hurts.
Yep.
So Jalen, obviously, 13 rushing touchdowns last season, ran for over 700 yards on the ground. That's a good number. However, that's those 700 yards added to his rushing total or his passing total still does not equal the amount of passing yards Justin Herbert threw for.
Justin Herbert might be overrated because he's handsome.
He might be overrated, but so might Jalen Hurts because he's throwing to Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, Dallas Goedert behind the best offensive line in football. And if anyone decided that they were going to watch the Super Bowl and watch that final throw of Jalen Hurts, the attempted Hail Mary that
not good,
literally 22 yards.
I think something happened though. That he's shown he could throw further than that, but I think something happened. He got the yips in a very large moment is what I think happened. But
so my argument, I do not buy the Jalen Hurts hype. And this feeds into one of the questions I posted. I have seen enough quarterbacks in Philadelphia to know that Jalen Hurts is much more Michael Vick, who had an amazing one season and then tailed off, than he is Donovan McNabb, who had consistently great seasons for the Eagles and never got them to the promised land. I don't buy the hype for a guy that never threw for 4,000 yards in college, only rushed for over 1,000 yards one time, and that was when he was a senior in Oklahoma, lost his job to a freshman who is now probably a better quarterback than him, I'm going to be honest, and he has a slightly, over his career, he has a slightly better than 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. It's not great. He's lost 9 fumbles. I think he's improving, though. I think he's improving. He's lost 9 fumbles every season so far that he's played in.
Hey, but they don't lose them all because he's got Jason Kelce running behind him like a rabid dog.
Right. How long is that going to last for?
Not 1 more year. He will literally be done. Jason Kelce got like a bundle of money to play 1 more. Hurts, here's where you might have just convinced me, dude. You literally might have, because that team is going to get blown up in 12 months. No, sorry. 12 plus 4, because they won't be able to keep everybody. The people, it's the same reason we were talking before, plus retirings. Like Kelsey's an all-time great center. That O-line is sick. Hurts, as good as I think he can be, we are on the 1 year only. You might have just convinced me, because I would have had him topping my list in the NFC East, and now I'm doubting even that for the future. For this current season, I still got to give it to him because I need to see the deterioration. But without that line, which is going to get broken up after this season, I think that he struggles a lot more.
So let me even throw this on the fire before I let Mikey's got stuff to say. I can see it in his eyes. He's got things he wants to say, and I want to hear it
right now.
He only threw for 560 less yards the season before without AJ Brown, and rushed for more yards.
Yeah.
Less touchdowns, but rushed for more yards, and had a 16-9 touchdown to interception ratio.
Right. That first year.
I think this is much more likely to be a flash in the pan for a average to slightly above average quarterback than
they hope
it
not,
is.
Dude. They just gave him $255.
They just gave him a shit ton of money.
They gave him a $250 million.
Fuck ton of money.
Philly people that hear this are going to be like,
they're going to be upset.
Even if they think you're right, they're going to be so angry with you. They're going to be like, we just gave this dude.
There's no Eagles fan that thinks that I'm
$250
right.
million.
There's no Eagles fan that thinks that I'm right. They all think Jalen is the second coming, and maybe I'm wrong, and I'm okay being wrong because I'm a fucking putz.
Well, they need him to be that though.
Right,
as a fan,
he needs to be that for them. Yes, he needs to be that for them. This is what I have. That's all I got. I'm ready for you to rip me apart, Mikey. I'm ready.
No, I don't think I'm going to rip you apart because I don't know which way Hurts goes. He's still. This is what, his 4th year.
Say he goes good, so I'm right.
he. I see what you did there. His first year came off the bench, only had a couple of games where he actually saw action. So he's only had 2 full years as the starter. My memory after the 2021 season or throughout that season was a lot of people saying, I don't know if this guy's it. I don't know if he's got it. He doesn't seem to have it. I don't see it. Last year, he showed that he did have it, and he went off. We've seen statistical anomalies where people have amazing seasons and then they kind of fade back into their normal pattern. And we've also seen where they continue to grow and expand. And he's young enough and in that age of his career where you were like, well, if he's gonna take off, it would be his second full year as a starter and continue to improve in year 3 and 4 and stuff like that. So is he going to take a step forward? I don't know. I would assume he does. I think he is, especially if the team continues to be good. Like, one thing you can look at last year, they were blowing out some teams. Like, there were a lot of games that he did what he needed to do and they were done. And I feel like, if I remember right, their rushing team, the rushing attack was outrageous.
Yeah,
for Philly,
they were
right?
the number one in the league in rushing last year. But
so
they had their Miles Sanders, who's no longer with the team, also feeds into my
Didn't they bring somebody else, though? I thought they did.
No, they haven't brought anyone else yet. Or they brought Rashad Penny, who's always hurt.
That's true.
I think.
They weren't the one that drafted that stud out of... No, they weren't. They didn't move.
That was Atlanta. Drafted Robinson.
Who also had a good running attack already. Sorry, keep going.
So I still think it's a wait and see approach for Hurts. I'm not surprised that they gave him a huge extension, because if he did prove it and had another awesome season, it was going to cost a lot more than what they paid him this year.
That is true, which is so sick, though, that you're actually right, and you're right by like 50 to 100 million.
Yeah. It would have been
that much more if they didn't give him the 250. Because this Burrow deal, I think Herbert's got one, and then
Herbert's
Mahomes' next one.
Herbert's got another put up or shut up year, because he had first year amazing, little bit of a step back, which is why it's interesting that he was the one that you compared Hurts' stats to.
That was purposeful.
I'm sure it was a very masterfully done comparison.
Thank you.
These two suck each other's dicks.
He had the first rookie season was amazing. Second season was a step back. So we need to see, was that a dip and he's going to go back, or was it the first season was a flash in a pan and he's going to go down, and his contract after this season or after next year is going to totally depend.
I think
on what
he could make or lose himself like 9 figures. I think you're dead right.
Oh, yeah.
And it's that big of a swing now. It's so messed up. In like, we love this game and we love watching it, but damn it, the money has gotten obscene.
There's so many quarterbacks who have, when they have had amazing seasons on the year they absolutely needed to, and the one I always think of is Flacco. Didn't he win the Super Bowl?
Yeah, he won the Super Bowl in his contract year.
On his contract year.
Yeah.
Yes. And then got like 100 mil, and back then that was a lot. Kirk Cousins got the first. He was technically a trendsetter, if I remember right, for the guaranteed. The full guaranteed. He got like 85 mil guaranteed, even though it was a 4-year. It still set a new precedent or whatever.
Yeah.
So like, there's definitely guys that were opportunists. I don't know if the Chargers have, and I love Eckler. I don't know. I feel like Mike Williams struggles to stay healthy, and
Keenan Allen struggles to stay healthy.
Yes, at full health, Herbert has got the weapons, and he's a stud. He's an absolute stud, so he can get it done. But I don't know. I guess I would lean. I'd rather have Hurts over Herbert still for the upside.
My argument to that is, if you put Herbert on the Eagles, Herbert's a better quarterback.
I don't know about that, dude. The
position.
At the position, yes, but that run game that you just said was the number one run game. Hurts is a big part of that. Not just the 750 yards, but if he plays an option correctly, he opens a massive gap. And Herbert is not moving that way. He's not moving lines that way. He can scoot. He can scoot, but not like Hurts. Not like Hurts. If I ended up so there's some bias here, but I listened to New Heights all year last year, the podcast, and they did a lot of game breakdown. So like Travis would break down and they would talk through certain things, and then Jason would do the same. So I learned a lot Philly stuff. Their run scheming, so much of that went off of what Hurts had to orchestrate, that now I'm drinking the Jason Kelce sauce there, but if that's true, I don't think Herbert can succeed at the same level. They would have had to operate differently, be far less mobile. And yes, he might have thrown really well because those weapons are like fantastic. But I just think we would be seeing him struggle in ways that were different for how that line and offense was structured.
I agree, but I think if you have to think if people are setting the box for a run, you bring a safety down or you have an extra linebacker on the field, that opens up your passing lanes.
Yeah.
I think that, and I may be the minority here, and maybe this is my Giants bias talking, and I'm Giants okay bias. With that. But I think in order to win a football game, you need to make Jalen Hurts throw the ball. You make him stay in the pocket. You make him throw the ball because, like we've said with Lamar Jackson 1,000 times, Craig, you and I don't want to lump Mikey into this, but you need to throw the ball to win games in the NFL.
But you risk. So yes, you are correct. You have to be able to do that or you will never win a title. But you got to give, to Mike's point, what if he continues to improve? Throwing is the easier thing to improve at. I'm being honest.
Tell Tim Tebow that.
Well, he chose not to get better at that. I saw that man speak at VCon. He knows. He knows. Mike, get it. He's got a statistic right now. He's about to pull one out.
There were 8 games last year where Jalen Hurts threw over 30 passes. What was their record in those 8 games?
Where he threw over 30 passes? I'm going to say 7-1.
7-1.
We got it. We both got it. Dude,
7-1.
Dude can toss.
One was the Super Bowl.
Mike, he's doing the Giants bias. He said it at the end, which allowed the weakness in. He seeped the weakness out. It's Giants bias. The dude, very optimistic.
Hold on. He also didn't play 2 games last year.
He did not play 2 games last year. But that also comes with the caveat of him being a running quarterback. He's going to miss time.
Correct.
He's going to miss time.
At full health, it's Hurts, Danny Dimes. I'm pissed at Dak, so I would maybe not even put him third because I don't know who Sam Howell is. So Sam Howell and Dak can bring the bottom up because I bet on this motherfucker, not with finances, but with my fantasy, which is more important to me than sports betting. I bet on him multiple years because his ceiling is so high, and boy, has Dak just dashed my fantasy hopes. So he's 4th.
You drank the Hard Knocks tea though. You said that.
Oh my God, I do it every year. Who's it this year? Who's gonna get me fandom this year? Who's Hard Knocks? Do we know?
I don't know. Who is Hard Knocks? That's got to be coming up soon.
You would think training camp's in 2 months, right?
So, well, some OTAs are on.
Apparently they're having trouble finding somebody. They've got 4 eligible squads.
Oh,
one of them's the Jets. You feel like it would be the Jets.
The NFL will make them do one. But I did hear that teams are pushing back.
There are 4 teams that can be forced to do Hard Knocks this year. It's the Jets, the Bears, the Saints, and the Commanders.
It's part of the deal.
Jets would be the obvious one on that list.
Yeah, it sounds like the Jets are probably going to be on Hard Knocks.
And the Jets would fight that hard.
Woody would
There's no way you can let a camera near Aaron Rodgers like that.
All of the 24 hours a day for like a month and a half?
Yeah, no they cannot do that. They have to protect their investment.
I absolutely agree with you, but I really want it to happen because it makes the Dolphins' chances so much better.
Oh my God, it would
because to your earlier point, if he's not in fuck you mode, he'll be trash. He'll be absolutely trash. So if his brain gets off, I don't care that he's good at throwing the ball. It won't work. I'm just worried he comes in fuck you mode, chip on the shoulder, focused. They protect him enough media-wise, and they win 14 games. And I'm like, no, why did this happen? Not in my window. It's a fear thing. I don't know that it's real. It's just like the Dolphins fans got fucked so bad in what was 2 different windows we were supposed to have. Yeah. And we even shined a little. And then the Tom Brady 20-year bullshit. And then Josh Allen shows up. So I innately hate him, even though it's very fun to watch him play. But I'm like, why did you have to go there? Go anywhere else. Buffalo sucks. You don't want to live there. Like, why does this keep
That's why
happening
he
to me,
went
Mike?
there.
Mike, why does this keep happening to me? You have all these titles. You get all these things. You get new jackets with new stars on it.
We also got screwed by the Brady era. We had a lot
Fuck that.
of good
Look at
teams
this. What the
that got.
fuck you, man? We won 2 titles in my era. You lived through 2 Super Bowls.
I did.
You have the legacy of 4.
But you weren't even a Dolphins fan when I won when the Steelers won those 2 Super Bowls.
You won it, Mikey.
But that's fandom. What just happened there is the truth of fandom, right? Like, it gives you such good feels. And that's why I'm glad you're right. I chose Dolphins as an homage to my grandpa, but before that, I was a bit of a front runner or a player follower. And then it was like, 12 years ago or something like that. I don't remember the year, but I've been with it long enough.
I mean, you picked
that people
the Dolphins,
respect me.
and that's misery. Like,
He had no reason to. He's not even in their TV market.
That's true.
But no, I have a reason.
Jags.
JB, my kid's namesake was a Dolphin fan. And there was always Marino talk when I would hang out with him when he in the end years of Grandpa would talk so fondly. So then, while I liked Peyton, some point I got to ask. I don't know who to ask other than Tony. Tony might remember because he was giving me so much shit for being like, "Oh, you're a Dolphin fan now? You won't be in a year. It sucks." And then I was like, but I kind of think he respects me now because I stayed. I stayed.
You stayed through the hard times.
He's also desperate for another Dolphin fan.
Fuck you.
He's
this
just
guy.
He's just desperate for another Dolphin fan to talk to.
How dare you? We're on the massive upswing. We are in the best window of my life. Come on.
Hold on. Let me just do one thing to see if I can burst Craig's bubble really quick. Craig, how old's Tyreek Hill?
Oh no. Very young and agile. Very
Is he very young?
Oh no. Oh no. I want it to be no older than 31.
He's 29.
That's good. That's even
he
better.
Will be 30 in March.
I told you we're in the window. We're in it, brother. He's on a 4-year deal. I didn't even think the window was 4 years.
At the end of the 4-year deal.
I agree with that.
He's not going to be good at that.
I told that so I sit with my dad and an old man. We watch the games at Gators because they're not always on TV, like Mike said. So we go to Gators and we found a friend. We made a friend who falcons, by the way. He's a falconer. He would show me. My dad would be like, "Why do you get to know people?" I'm like, this guy's keeping us a table every week where we just show up and it's a good spot. I'm like, Dad, and my dad was like, "Oh."
So that's why he's not a Falcon fan. He actually
raises
and fights
He's a
Falcons.
Dolphin fan. He raises and hunts with falcons. And apparently, hope he's not listening, it's illegal what he and his buddies do.
Wait, what?
Yes.
And you just said where they can find him every Sunday?
What's the address for this Gators again? I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Well, it's definitely not the Hunt Club of Popcorn one, but really nice guy. And we watched the games.
Really nice falconer. He's super nice.
Needless to say, I've proved my fandom enough where Tony respects it. You can make fun of it. Nothing you say, Mike, is going to matter because you, and you're going to not like this, your fandom, the Steeler fans, is equivalent to a Boston fan, to a Patriots fan. The woe is me bullshit when you've won so much and in your lifetime is just fuck off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's...
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Even you, Pat, have 2 titles in your lifetime.
I do. I am
cry
very, and
in
they're
someone
both over
else's
Brady.
soup.
They're both over
and they
Tom
were
Brady.
so beautiful. Yours were his were actually quite cool too. The fucking Santonio Holmes catch, that was
but that
dope.
took it away from Larry, and that makes me sad.
I know, I hated that. And then when I found out Santonio Holmes was a dick because I met him, they made it worse. I was like, Larry should have got that
night.
I know you did because you knew he was a dick.
No, I didn't. But I also knew there was a chance he was a dick.
But you know who wasn't? I will say this: cornerback was it Rudy Gay. No. Who's on? Was he a Steeler? Willie Gay. Is that right? I met a few other Steelers, and that very night, you're right, Mike. Javon Curse was incredibly nice. Lito Shepherd was incredibly nice, and Chris Johnson, aloof but very cool, very not a dick. Santonio Holmes though, big thumbs down, big thumbs down. Made a great catch, toe tapping.
kind of an asshole.
And so wait, that one Super Bowl was great. The Seattle Super Bowl was not great.
Why not? I don't remember.
Exactly.
I also
they won, but they
did win. They did win, but it was a slugfest.
No, you're right. There's nothing memorable about that game.
Ben getting into the end zone barely by the hair of a football, and the biggest play on that was Hines Ward throwing to
right
to that guy, not Yancey Thigpen.
Antoine Randall L.
That's right.
And he threw the ball. Antoine Randall L threw the ball.
Nice, Pat.
That's right. No, yeah, you're right. He swapped it.
The Steeler fan here is losing his marbs. He's near. He's 40.
I'm all flustered with the Jalen Hurts.
You're 40. You're not 40.
Hold on a second.
Almost 40.
I got a 2-year-old. It's potty training week. It's 10:15 at night. My brain's not working right.
And he's 40-ish.
I get it.
40-ish. Yeah. I'm the same age as Aaron Rodgers.
You are, though, dude.
You could be an elite quarterback in the NFL, according to Craig.
I could. I'm just one ayahuasca trip away.
Well,
hey,
I know some people.
If you sit in the dark for 3 days and do ayahuasca.
Mike, one of our clients, if you want to go to Costa Rica with me, we could business expense
that. My wife wants to do that. I do not want to do that.
Well, we can all ayahuasca. I know people now. Arrakis Labs.
I don't want to do that. I've read reports.
Will I get very sick?
You will hallucinate being very sick.
Absolutely. You will absolutely get very sick, Craig.
Yeah.
There's one thing I know about
part of it is purging.
You will be sick.
That's the part I'm bummed about. I would trip all day. But the fact is you're supposed to poo aggressively and vomit. And I don't like those feelings. So now people are telling me, because this whole project is around plant medicine. They're building very interesting stuff. But apparently, and this is a tangent you didn't want, mushrooms don't have the bad tummy troubles or the vomiting. So now, I've never
those
done
were
that.
Important to the healing.
What part?
You got to purge all your demons.
Well, Mike, so now we have to just have you. Okay, so plant medicine is this big umbrella or whatever, and the people I've heard multiple people, and it might be legal in a few years. Microdosing mushrooms has already passed medicinal.
It's true.
I couldn't believe it.
Every topic that starts with "this might be legal in a few years" is definitely one worth exploring.
But Mike, that was weed a couple years ago. That was weed like 10 years ago.
Yeah, well, we still live in a place where it's not fully legal.
That's true.
But we're at 23 states. Is it legal where you are, dude? Carolina?
It is not. Not recreational.
Well, yeah, we're still in the, those places.
I wish they could just outlaw the smelly part of it. I'm all fine with it. It's just I don't like walking down the Vegas Strip being like, damn it. It smells bad here.
It's got an odor. There's an odor for sure.
But those that partake don't mind it.
They don't care. They're like, it stinks, and that means it's good.
We don't like it.
Mikey, I just realized we don't have your rankings for NFC East quarterbacks. So would you like to divulge?
All right. So we've got Jalen Hurts.
Facts.
Then I think I will take a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Oh,
and then
that's hurtful.
A chopped cheese. And then probably Dak and Danny Dimes on the same level. And then Washington's just a hot mess until 3 years after they get a new owner.
Yeah, that's fair. Also, Danny Dimes is going to light the NFL on fire this year. I just want you to know that.
He's definitely going to do that.
Well,
he's going to do that.
Did they make Saquon happy yet, or are we still worried about
that? But he's got to be on the tag. He's not going to not play.
He's old.
What if
he's 26?
Are you speaking about Saquon?
Yeah. He's a running back.
He's the opposite of old. How dare you? And he just had a phenomenal season.
He just had a very good season. Mm-hmm. He did.
If that dude stays healthy, he's the guy we were talking about. Like we've talked. 26.
Dalvin Cook's 27. He's also old.
What is your brain doing? You're drinking the Kool-Aid.
You're drinking the back old.
I think that's bullshit. I think certain athletes are. That's Derrick Henry's.
Tell Frank Gore that they're running back old. Tell Frank Gore that they're running back old.
There's a couple guys each tier that can go.
There are a handful of people that can do it. It's Adrian Peterson and Derrick Henry.
I think there's a few others that have
I think Derrick Henry is on the way down.
Well, yeah, but he's 29.
I said it last year, and I was sort of right. and I will continue on with this saying Derrick Henry is on, but he had 2 good years. He had 2 good years.
I think it was more than 2.
I'm going to look it up right now.
You'd have to look that up, but I've kept him in fantasy for longer, and 1 or 2 of the anomaly years are injury related, which isn't great for my argument.
Well, it doesn't help that he also was a backup for DeMarco Murray for 2 years longer than he should have been.
That's true. So Mike drinks the Kool-Aid that running backs are dead when they're 27, apparently. I do not. I think talent above all.
They're like rock stars. They get to 23 and it's just all over.
No.
It's just,
how old's Eckler?
It's just done.
How old is Austin Eckler?
I think Eckler's 27 or 28. Yeah.
I think it's talent over anything. If
1,
you just
2,
talk about
3,
damage
4.
taking, they all take damage.
So Henry has 4 seasons over 1,000 yards. He's got 3 over 1,500. And
what was last year's line?
Last year was 1,538 with 13 tuds.
It was a good year. It was by any standard that wasn't everyone.
He had a good year.
He had a very good year.
It is the year before he was under 1,000 because he only played 8 games, but he was dumb for those 8 games.
But the year before that,
he put up the 2. The 2
put up a
the
big
2027.
I think you're going to see him, Eckler, a few guys end up playing very well to like 30, 31, possibly even a couple that get a little older. But I think it's going to be a smaller group. We're talking about the 3, the 4, not 32. And now we're in a league where there's like 45 to 50 relevant running backs because a lot of people are using two guy systems.
So my argument for the 27, 28 being the decline is that was the decline over the last decade. These guys are doing all sorts of new shit they're taking care of their bodies. And like, I use it like most sports. The sport, like training camp, was used to get in shape. It is not that anymore. These guys are staying in shape year round. They have nutritionists. They have chefs at their houses. Like it's all different now. And running back is a position that wears down faster. Like you're going to be a less effective.
But that's always been true, and there's always been anomalies.
I think Saquon's got another 3, 4 at least good years left in him.
I think if he stays healthy. There's always that caveat that another shredded knee.
Healthy the 2 years before this, so
I know that.
But blue Kool-Aid.
Yum.
I don't know. He's so talented. He's so fun to watch. He's my favorite running back to watch, and my dad likes the Giants, so that's fun. Another double dip for Gators. Shout out.
Falconers represent. So I want to, because we were just talking about him, Dalvin Cook, possible Miami Dolphin?
Give me that.
Question mark?
Give me that. Where's
Mike,
Zeke now?
Do you think Zeke is in the free agent pile where he will probably remain until training camp is underway?
Until camp. He's going to be on a squad for sure.
Yeah, but he'll be a late signing, I think, somewhere. Mikey, does Dalvin Cook going to Miami, you think, give them an opportunity to win that division?
They already have an opportunity to win the division.
Does it improve it?
I don't think they need, and I could be wrong. I don't know what their running back room is like. I thought they had good running backs last year.
We do.
So I don't know how much Dalvin Cook being added to the mix helps them. It's not going to hurt him necessarily unless he does fall off that age cliff. But I don't know how much it helps them because I feel like they already have a good room. But I don't know. I could be wrong on the quality of their running back room.
Correct.
It's the tippy top 2 are strong but injury prone. So Cook would be a big upgrade in my opinion because Mostert and Wilson both missed time last year. I don't remember the amount of games, but we were on our 4th guy sometimes. It was wild what injuries were happening because I watched every game. For the last couple seasons, I've watched every Dolphin game like you do with the Steelers. So like I know more now. I'm not good with the names on defense other than skill position players, but like I know more. Cook would be massively helpful because he's more reliable health-wise, and his ceiling is higher than most other running backs. He's in the top 5.
Could be wrong. I think last year was was the only year where he played every game.
Ooh, that might be bad, but yeah, maybe you're right. You had him in fantasy for a lot.
And he always missed a couple of games because you always needed in fantasy, if you had him, you always need to go after get Alexander Madison.
Yeah, you needed Madison. Right.
But last year
right.
he started 17 games.
So
maybe he missed a game, one game somewhere because they have 18 games now.
No.
It's 17 that they actually play.
17 that they play.
Yeah, he's literally always missed at least some time since he's been in the league.
I don't care. We have a lot of guys. He would make the room better, and he adds, and that would help Tua too. But there's another deep, like intense threat. Anything to help Tua is like a win.
Yeah, I mean, having that guy in your backfield, I think, automatically makes the pass rush a little less. And like, I think that's what teams figured out last year is like, if we leave Tua back there and he doesn't smack his head on something,
he's find the
going
guy
to throw to someone. And like having the fastest wide receiver duo in the NFL is definitely a good thing if you're throwing, if you have an accurate quarterback, because those guys can take a slant to the house.
And Cook will really, I think, help them mix it up. McDaniel's shown that he can be dynamic with the play calling. So I'm hopeful, dude. I heard Dallas is in the mix. That scares me. Miami hasn't made huge moves like this until Hill, right? In my opinion, Hill was the one where I went, oh my God, they're trying to win. Oh my God, finally, here we go. So if we got Cook and Hill, the hype, I said this to Tony when I was on the phone with him this past week, Mike. I said, I don't think I can handle it. The hype and the hopium that I'd be drinking would be too strong for too many months, because it's too, if it happens, please let it happen like week 1 instead of now, because it would be so painful, the anxiety of like, this is it, guys. This is the one. And that's, the odds of that are so low that I can't handle the heartbreak. So I almost don't want to get them, because it would put me to a place that would be very uncomfortable.
Do you think if you get Dalvin Cook on the Miami Dolphins, Craig Brooks, do you think it is your division to lose?
Yeah. I already feel, to Mike's point earlier, that like they got a real good shot at winning the division. They got to play like they did the first 6 weeks of last year, and they did add some pieces. I'm excited about that defense, right? Jalen Phillips has become a stud that is getting talked about, and our interior was always good in the last 3 seasons. Wilkins is coming up. We have one more interior guy they got, and the secondary, I think we drafted somebody that was pretty well known and strong. Like, we're just improving in these ways. So, gosh, I already think they got a shot at it with Cook. I feel like we become the favorite in that division right now on paper.
I don't disagree. I think, like I said, that guy, adding him to your backfield, I think makes you guys, it's just another threat. And like, are you going to load the box to stop Dalvin Cook? Are you going to double Jalen Waddle or Tyreek Hill? Like, pick your poison.
Somebody's open. Cook even, I thought, has the okay hands out the backfield. You'd have to look up those lines, but I thought he caught the ball sometimes.
I thought he did
30 catches the last 2 seasons.
That's not nothing.
40 and 50 the seasons before.
Oh, so it was even more. Oh, he came down a bit.
Yeah, it's high.
Yeah, they started using Madison more though because of the
But all I mean
injuries.
is that he can catch. I don't even care that the numbers came down. It's like you got some running backs with stone hands where they're just like handing it off. He can catch. That means you better believe those wheel routes become just obscene for them. Who would you actually guard then if you've got Cook running, Waddle running, Hill running? We just drafted another tight end. So like we lost Gesicki, I think though. I think he went somewhere.
I think he went somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't remember. Our tight end is where I think we'll have a weakness potentially, unless this young person's great.
Well, I do want to briefly touch on DeAndre Hopkins, just because I saw that he is taking an interview with the New England Patriots, and I think it would be I personally think that there's a 0% chance this happens, only because Bill O'Brien's the offensive coordinator, and he literally traded DeAndre Hopkins for peanuts.
That was the David Johnson deal, right? No.
Yes. That was the David Johnson deal. The Texans swapped that, and like it was like a third or something for DeAndre Hopkins, and everyone was like, "I'm sorry, what?" I'm going to look up the details of that trade right now. What do you guys think? D-Hop to New
Mike,
England.
Where do you think he's going?
So when you are a over-the-hill player,
good God,
but
the negativity out of this man. The negativity out of this man.
But you've got a good name,
fucking
and you've
toxic.
had a good career. You've got 3 options, right? You can go get the most amount of money you could possibly get. You
That's
can go to a place where you will be a clear-cut number 1 and try to put up stats, or you can take a vet minimum and go on a contender and try to get your ring. I don't know which of those 3 he wants to do.
He would look real good as a Chief.
That's what I would think if I were DeAndre Hopkins or even Dalvin Cook. At this point, I want a ring. Go get me on the Chiefs or apparently the Jets and try to go win a Super Bowl. That's what I would be looking at if I were those guys.
But
not
to
necessarily.
Do that, you have to take less money, and that is where these to do that.
I mean, but he's still getting paid a shit ton from Arizona. Arizona still got him on the books for this year and next, even though he was released. Like there's dead cap money that's going.
And I heard Baltimore's a spot where they think they've got something going.
Yeah, they got something going.
This is what people say. In 2020, Jones is who I'm talking about.
In 2020, DeAndre Hopkins was acquired for David Johnson, a second-round pick, and a fourth-round pick.
Right.
That was it.
And at the time, he was not as washed up as Mike is proposing.
That
this man is now. Mike is literally saying D-Hop is washed up. He's in my top 3 with Devontae Adams and Hill. Nope, I changed it. In real time, I want to put up Jefferson in that 3. And I move D-Hop down to 4, and then I'll put Chase at 5.
How old is D-Hop?
D-Hop, I would guess,
32?
is 28. What?
Yeah, he is not a young man.
Look that up on the internet.
31.
Shit.
When does he turn 32? Am I right?
June. He just turned 31.
Okay, so I'm way off. Got it.
Oh no! What age did Calvin Johnson stop playing?
He was 30, right?
Yeah, he was. He was a youngin. He was a younger man. Also, I just want to say, DeAndre Hopkins, please come to the New York Giants. We need a number 1 receiver. Daniel Jones is good at stuff sometimes when he's not tripping on the 6-yard line.
If he's ring hunting, he ain't going to the Giantes. Okay.
Hey.
My team would come before your team if a ring hunt was real.
Yeah, but like he's not going to go to there and like he's not going to start there. He's not going to start over Waddle or Hill.
What a sick slot, though.
Has DeAndre Hopkins ever been in the slot?
No, I mean I should have said a slick 3 because you put Hill in the slot and you move D-Hop wide,
so he can move at half the speed of everybody else on the field. I mean, Waddle and Hill are fast.
They are fast. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Oh my God.
That was excellent. That was excellent.
I didn't know that Mike was going to always take the tack of all these guys are old now. Give me only young blood.
I want youths.
I want 21 to 24-year-olds that can do athletic things, nothing more.
Look, I'm not much older than these players that we're talking about, and my bones hurt, and I don't get into car accidents 5 times every Sunday.
Yeah, that's true.
So, leaving D-Hop and Dalvin, D-Hop, I think he's going to go to a contender. I think he's made enough money. He's still getting paid from Arizona. I think he's going to go to
Sweet
Kansas City. I think he's going to go to. I don't think he goes to Philly because it's the same thing as Miami, like he's not going to go somewhere to be a 3. Like he wants to catch passes, but it's hard pressed to see him go to New England, who is the 4th worst team, the 4th team in that division. And it's not close. Like D-Hop doesn't make or break them because they have D-Hop and Juju.
Yeah. Especially with the rest of the competition in that division. Unless I could see an argument if there's a particular coach you want to go play for. If you wanted to go play for Belichick, but I don't see that being the case.
But like, isn't Andy Reid in that conversation now? Because like Belichick,
the Kool-Aid man,
exactly. Belichick's removed from Brady is maybe not as great as he might have been, and
the Chiefs would make the most sense but there's a similar argument.
I just put Andy Reid in a similar stratosphere as Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
I know he doesn't have the same amount of rings. I know he probably won't end up with the same amount of rings. Look at that man and like how often he talks about eating cheeseburgers. He's probably not going to make it that long. But with Patty, anything could happen. Anything, he could go on a run the next couple of years, and you're like,
God, I'd be here for it. Give us a Chicago Bulls like run. I'd be so here for it.
That'd be so. But you
Mike
would definitely lose your bet. You would lose your bet. You would lose your bet so fast.
None of that, but that means it's likely to happen because he's mostly wrong.
I do want to just do quick expectations for teams with new quarterbacks. I want to start with the Raiders. Jimmy Garoppolo going and hanging out with noted asshole sniffer Josh McDaniel.
Wait, what?
He's just a butthole. I was just kind of going in that
thought we had
direction.
This guy sniffing toilet seats or something.
Maybe
the old Jaguars coach.
Oh, Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer. Yeah, that's where I thought that was going.
He likes
did finger buttholes. Well, we didn't see it go in. We only saw the crack.
We know it went in.
He fingered a crack of a youth.
It was a
Can't
youth.
do it. Can't do it.
It was
She's
a bad
collegiate athlete or something. I don't know.
How do we think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to do with Josh McDaniel this season?
Me first or Mike?
Let's go Mike first.
Don't they have a thing in the contract about his injuries?
Yes. They did put in something in the contract.
Currently is going has surgery either last week or this week.
Yeah.
Or some shit. I heard it was
pending or it just happened.
Yeah.
Assuming he's healthy and plays. The team's going to win a couple of games. They're going to lose a lot of games, and they're not going to win the Super Bowl. So I mean, they're not going to even come
par
for the course.
It's not a good division. That division is terrible. It is a winnable division for them, though.
The Raiders? I thought they were with the Chiefs.
Are they in that division?
Isn't it the Raiders, Chiefs, Broncos,
Chargers, and Chargers?
I
thought.
Oh, never mind. That is not the AFC
they're going
West,
to get dominated. Right. And if Sean Payton gets Russell Wilson's head right, the Raiders might go 0-6 on those games.
If Sean Payton gets Russell Wilson's head right, if he doesn't, Russell Wilson is fucking out of Denver because they gave up too much for fucking Sean Payton. But Chiefs,
they're going to keep
Broncos,
Payton, not
Vegas,
Russell, for sure.
Yeah, they're going to finish fourth in that division.
It would be a miracle if they didn't. So that's why, for me, the expectations are so damn low, even though I like a healthy Jimmy. He also, I'll never forget, is handsome and all that. People say nice things about him. I'll never forget how bad he missed that throw that would have won the Super Bowl. The Chiefs wouldn't have had the first one.
His whole
career. Yeah. He overthrew an open person by 15 yards or
you
something.
You talk about this every third podcast we do.
Dude, I'm so
which,
sorry.
Isn't a lot, but
so the last time was 6 years ago.
Exactly.
It's so ingrained in my memory. And that's, to me, what I love about
NFT it. I want the NFT of the overthrow. Give me it.
Oh my God. You know what? Maybe they'd do better if they would sell the bad plays instead of the good ones.
I'm just saying.
Maybe that's what's missing. Butt fumble, the NFT. But
oh my God, I would buy butt fumble so fast.
See? It's called NFL All Day. They sell moments. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about it, but they do it.
Give me the butt fumble. Give me the butt fumble.
No, I'm not low expectations for the Raiders, brother.
Low to none. They might get relegated, and they don't even do that in the NFL. Saints.
Well, someone's going to get sent to London, Mexico City, and all that, so that could be what the version is.
Saints. Derek Carr. Craig, we'll start with you. What do you think? Saints, this is the winnable division. Sorry, this division is X.
Yeah, but that has Bucks. Give me the other two.
Bucks, Panthers, Saints, and someone else who's bad.
Bucks, Panthers, Saints.
NFC South.
Falcons.
Oh, Falcons. That's right.
Yeah, I'm high on. I actually like the Falcons on the come up, but yeah, Derek Carr is not as bad as people say, but he's so middling that I don't think people put him in the bottom. He's not in the bottom. He's in that middle, I don't know, probably 15 to 20-ish range or something, maybe.
He's 20-25 for me, for sure. He's bottom. I mean, he had Devontae, Darren Waller,
25 to 32.
Josh Jacobs, and he still like lost the starting job.
It's not going to go well in New Orleans is what I'm getting at. That's where I'm at. I think it's even, going to hurt Alvin Kamara, I think. His fantasy
already
value.
Hurt Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara is not the same guy the last couple of years.
Might be because of Mike's 8.
Yep, he got older.
Yep, we fucking know. We fucking know what you're going to say, bro.
You know how old he is?
I want to know.
How old is
he? He's in that 27, 28 range.
How old's Alvin fucking Kamara? You know what, Pat? Change the thumbnail. Get this stern fucking face he's got on right now. You want to know how old that running back is? The whole segment of the show is your new
Father
running
Time
back
is
segment.
Undefeated.
He's not undefeated. He does real well, but there's a few anomaly dudes, and obviously there can't be like 4 every year. I agree with you on that. Oh no, is Alvin Kamara gonna? My fear is that Mike's right, but he opened by saying he's never right. He's 27. He's right there. Right there. I think he's got 3 more good years. But as I said it, I don't
That's
feel
a lot.
it.
You don't believe that. You just want me to be wrong. That's why you said that.
That's probably true.
You're poisoning my mind with your negativity. That's what you're doing. You're coming in here. You're being so rude to these hardworking men. I believe they will all play exceptionally well for a very long time.
They will for 2 months.
Oh, God. The rudeness in you. They're doing better helmets, and they're definitely moving faster. That's a problem. That's a real problem. We got to figure that out. I think if we got real grass.
Defensive linemen are running 4.6s now, so that's
real
terrifying.
Bad.
It's now a sand pit.
Right. We'll figure out maybe real grass would help, right? Let's get off this turf. Let's get some real grass to be squishy. A little bit slower.
Mike, what do you think about the Saints? This is Michael Thomas going to play over under 3 games?
Oh, what's his situation? Is he
He had a foot surgery last season. That's what knocked him out, and he's supposed to be good for this season, but I feel like I've heard that the last 6 years.
Yeah, I feel like every time I've seen his name, it's about how there's a surprising amount of surgery that he just had for some reason.
Much. It's abdominal. I feel like this dude's had his appendix out 3 times. He's that kid in school that was like, "Oh, my grandma died." And it's how many grandmas you got, my dude?
My problem is I like Derek Carr. He's a good teammate. He's an okay quarterback. He's never going to be the top. He's never going to be the best. He's never going to make you want to go out there and be like, wow, let's build a team around this guy. But he is good enough. And we've seen quarterbacks at his level who can have success and even win Super Bowls.
Joe Flacco, we talked about him earlier.
Yeah.
He's better than even.
They're usually Ravens quarterbacks. It's Trent Dilfer and Joe Flacco.
They do it too.
Kyle Bowler.
Brad Johnson.
But he's a good teammate, unlike Ravens players. So I actually like Trent Dilfer, but that's just my Steelers bias there. I don't think the Saints are going to be a great team. But I hope Derek Carr has a good season. I like him.
That was the nicest thing you said all day.
That is true. Now say something mean about the Commanders.
I don't need to. They're just they're going to lose their trademark for their name. Their owner sucks. They're going to get sold. Soon. I know they're going to sell it. Oh, he's going to get it. He's going to get a golden parachute. He'll be fine.
Oh, yeah. He's only going to get. That's an understatement. That's the largest of golden parachutes.
Yeah. And then this new team the new group of owners are going to come in and hopefully they can change it. All these dysfunctional sports teams, it all stems from the owner. That's why the biggest issue with Miami is Stephen Ross.
Yeah.
The neuroses drip down from the top and it taints everybody who works there in that front office. And it just drips down through all the levels. I have seen people who have their head on straight and are just good, hardworking, normal people go into these organizations with that toxic leadership. And 2 seasons later, they are pulling their hair out.
Because you're dead ass right. And that is why there's very successful franchises. And then there's the rest, right? Because it's a top-down thing. There's your team,
Well, I
his
mean,
team,
that's
lots of titles because of sturdy ownership, good leadership. And thank you for shitting down my neck on that. My team is one of the ones that does not have that. But I absolutely agree with you that is the problem for a lot of what's going on. And I mean, that's always going to be the case because these are private entities, each one. They're in a union of the ownership and that like we'll party together, but they're all privately owned things with no oversight. These people can do whatever the fuck they want. It's wild.
So what I'll say is the next podcast I want to break down. We'll have to look at the report cards that the Players Association did when they
Oh yeah, I
pulled
heard
the
about that.
players. Yeah, Arizona did not do well.
Terrible.
Yeah,
Terribly run franchise.
Anyway,
yeah, sorry.
You have anything to say about the Commanders, Craig?
Nah, poop. They poop literally falling from the sky in their fucking stadium. It's their poop.
The Jets, I think we've touched on enough. I don't know that I believe in Aaron Rodgers at this point, but like I will say the caveat that if there is a quarterback that has a couple good seasons left in him, it would be this guy.
Yeah.
But I just don't think it's there anymore.
Mike doesn't either.
I think Shailene Woodley took the rest of whatever soul he had and just was like,
that's rude. I don't think they made it even. I don't even think they're together anymore.
They're not. That's why
she
took it.
He has a tough time with the ladies. He doesn't do well with the ladies.
I wonder why. Have you watched an interview with him?
Yeah, I think it's the Mahomes or the McAfee interviews. We get to see his personality. It's like, well, that makes sense.
Oh shit.
I wouldn't like that guy either. Texans, Davis Mills, CJ Stroud. Probably CJ Stroud. Craig, what do you think about CJ Stroud? You got any thoughts on CJ?
I'm recovering because like while I do like that program, he's not likable at all.
He's
A-Rod does not come across likable. The program's
very
great.
pretentious.
It made the show better. It made the show better. It was entertaining. But dude is not the guy that you like, or not the guy you necessarily want to have a beer with, right? Not the guy, because he's like, he reads a lot of books and he knows a lot more than you, I guess.
He does, probably, but that's not a barometer of friendship.
So sorry, Jets is not what you wanted. Which team was it?
Texans.
Need another. Oh, I like CJ Stroud, but let's talk in 3 years. Otherwise, poop.
Yeah, we can keep it quick. They're going to suck next.
Yeah, they are going to suck.
We can actually probably do that with the next couple.
Arizona will suck worse. No, Colts could win some games if Jonathan Taylor's at peak performance and Anthony Richardson.
How old's Jonathan Taylor?
I'm Googling.
Stop it.
Googling it.
Fuck you, sir. 25, maybe him. 25.
He can't be that old.
He's got to be younger.
He can't be that old. He's only been in the league a couple years.
No, we're talking dude at full strength is a fucking guy.
Oh, he's 24. So he's got two more good years.
Exactly. And Anthony Richardson is like Jalen Hurts light. We just got to figure out if Steichen can speed up the process. It's totally there. It's
my
right
thought
there.
process. His mechanics are so bad. His throwing mechanics are terrible.
That he can get fixed.
Right. It can, but it can't get fixed quickly. That you're reprogramming him on how to throw.
Agreed.
I watched Eli Manning go through it with Ben McAdoo. So he had Kevin Gilbride for years, won multiple Super Bowls with Kevin Gilbride as his OC. Gilbride retired. Ben McAdoo came in and he switched the foot he planted on in the shotgun, and it threw Eli the fuck off. He's a Manning. He may not be the best Manning because obviously Peyton, but that dude can throw the ball better than Anthony Richardson can. And I have no qualm saying that. And he struggled with mechanics after changing his foot placement from the shotgun. I
didn't even know about that. Why would you ask a multi-time Super Bowl winner to change?
You're fucking Ben McAdoo, my guy. He's not good at stuff.
I didn't know that. Is that when Eli got benched and all that stuff?
He was an OC when that happened. Then they continued with it, and he got slightly better with it as the years progressed. And then
why would
McAdoo
you do
was
that?
Why
wouldn't you come in and use the assets of your man, not just? Oh, that makes no fucking sense.
Right. Colts, I disagree. I think the Colts are in for a rough go. I think Anthony Richardson could be good. He's got the intangibles. He's got Josh Allen-like intangibles.
He can
but
hoop.
My father-in-law is a diehard Gator fan, goes to Gator games. Said
All
that
Gator fans say terrible things about him. They say terrible things about him.
Like he is like I told him he was going to go top 10 in the draft, and he was like, whoever gets that guy's an idiot. And I was like, thanks, Craig. Appreciate you.
Mike, did you hear Drew and Neri talk about him the same way? They only can think about the misses because apparently he would overthrow or
underthrow a lot.
Obscene amounts.
I heard a lot.
That's not good when you're in the NFL and the windows are a lot smaller.
No, they're way smaller. So we will soon
the fucking Gators, my guy. Panthers. How do we think the Panthers are going to do, Mike?
I don't think they have any players, bro. They give away everybody. McCaffrey's gone. DJ Moore's gone. I don't know who their starting quarterback is.
Bryce Young.
Oh, Bryce. Oh, shit. Well, yeah, but that's the same as Stroud. Let's talk in a couple of years. They're going to suck.
I'm glad that the year before they passed on picking a quarterback because they thought reasons that I don't know. But they were one of the ones where I was watching them like, don't take Pickett, don't take the other guy I can't remember now who kind of went to Tennessee and failed. And they were like, we're just going to roll the dice with the bad players that we've got. So I'm eternally grateful to the Panthers. I don't have a negative thing to say about them. I hope they continue to do well.
Keep doing what you're doing, Panthers.
Bryce Young might be good Mike. In a couple of years.
He might be.
Or he could be terrible.
As soon as he gets to his second team, he's going to be great.
Batted down in OTAs. So not a great sign.
He is not tall.
Packers, Jordan Love, the first season. Craig, because you're on the Aaron Rodgers bandwagon, I want you to tell me how his replacement's going to do.
For my man David, I'll say they sure do hope it's going to be great. They sure do. And boy, they're talking incredibly optimistic about Jordan Love. I don't know. But
what they do to help the surrounding pieces?
Nothing. I think they lost stuff.
Nothing.
They lost assets.
They only lost things.
They lost Lazard. Now they do have a very good running back duo.
Is it very good? Because it wasn't very good last season.
Jones and Dillon, I thought, still did well. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
It broke 100 yards one time last season. I know because he was on my fantasy bench.
Maybe I was more thinking combined. Like, what are their combined efforts?
Aaron Jones is okay, but like, how old is he, Mikey? Just out of curiosity.
Oh dear.
The Mikey metric.
I was saying that like,
boom.
No,
trash, garbage.
He's
throw him away.
No. And when I really think about it, I want for David to have a good year, but it does not look good, in my opinion. And Detroit being on the come up and that feeling right, a little bit of hard knock sauce there, but also they literally played better and they have a very interesting coaching staff. So I think they might end up irrelevant in that, like, not 2 wins, but like 7 or 8 and nowhere near the conversation.
The Vikings are in that division too, right? Aren't they on the come up? And the Bears are in that division too, aren't they on the come up?
Correct.
Like, Jordan
I think they're
Love,
on the Packers are on the lowest come up of all the come uppery.
If Jordan Love doesn't hit the ground running, if he doesn't come in and competent in this system with these weapons,
David can hope that he, Dobbs, and Watson hung out just a lot the last 6 months. They're hanging out, they're doing routes, if that happened, and I do not know that it did, maybe because if you get that good chemistry down for anybody in the league, that can be a game changer, but that's hope. I think they're going to stink.
Mikey, Packers.
No, I think when you're in that situation, when you lose your quarterback the way that they did, even if that quarterback has, aged out or just wasn't as good as they might have been before, you're going to have a couple of years most likely where you have to transition. Is Jordan Love the guy? I don't know. Time will tell. Even if he is the guy, you're going to have a couple of seasons of him being, figuring stuff out and building a team around him. And then hopefully by the time you get a team around him, he doesn't get his second contract where now it's too expensive to go out and get people.
Oh, he's due for a second contract next year.
Well,
yeah.
Sorry, David. Packers are hosed.
Well, exactly, because if he has a good year, they lose him. They're not going to want to pay him.
Or they spend a dumb amount
or
of
they
money.
spend money on him. It's definitely, it's one of those where for a lot of teams, unless you have the Mahomes or
you're not
the
winning
Brady's
shit
for the past
without
couple
these
of decades,
guys.
if you don't have the tippy top of the quarterbacks, your best chance is in that window when you have a young quarterback who has not gotten paid yet, but is playing like one of the best in the league, and you can go out and spend money everywhere else. That's why the Steelers window is not closed, because they're dumping so much money into the defense. If Kenny Pickett can figure it out in the next 2 years, they've got a slight chance.
If Kenny Pickett can be Alex Smith, you guys will get into some serious games.
Yes.
Because your defense is so good. Because
and then the defense will give up a 80-yard drive in 30 seconds at the end of the game to lose it. So we could just skip forward to the end of that game. But
great. I'm excited.
No, that's going to happen.
Write that
down. That hurts.
2028. Write it down. I want to pivot. 49ers, who might be on the opposite side of the spectrum, who, like, Craig, if you still do want to try to be a quarterback, you might be able to play for the Niners and be kind of good.
Yeah, what's their situation over there? Because they went through like 4 quarterbacks last year.
I think it's Darnold,
I don't think
Lance,
Purdy is
Purdy.
ready. I think
Purdy's
he's still
out for
recovering.
The year?
No, he's out for he's out until training camp, I believe.
Oh, well, I heard it could go to week 1. I heard it could go to week 1 now. Ooh. But I don't know if that's true.
That's
and
tough
I heard that if I'm correct, that Darnold's in that room now too.
He is.
I heard that people like him the Muchos.
Who?
For the system.
A lot of people have liked Darnold the Muchos.
A lot of people think Darnold will get the start because of the Shanahan system. What he really wants you to do is throw to the spot he's choosing. He doesn't want you to think that much. This is what I'm hearing. And obviously we know I listen to sports shows and podcasts and things like that. But my own opinion is if Purdy's healthy, it's him. It's him 100%.
He showed you.
Because he showed you why. I have no faith in Trey Lance. I don't think it's worth trying what feels like a third time, even though people say he didn't get a real chance. Really I don't know if I agree with that.
But
he didn't get.
You gave up so much for him. You gave up so much.
Who cares? That's living in the past, bro. Do we live in the? I think that sucks because if you're only playing a guy because he was expensive, you will win nothing. You should put the best shit on the field.
I agree with that. But if you don't put Lance in, you live in the world of what if, and you gave up so much for him. And if Brock Purdy or Sam Darnold don't get you into the Super Bowl, but you are risking
he would have to be the guy that wins the job in practice. Is that happening? From what I'm hearing, it isn't.
Right. So, and I agree with that. But in the world of the NFL, if you don't win, you are out. And Shanahan has had enough chances at this that, like, I'm not saying his seat is
he's
hot.
Taking him deep. He's taking him deep. I don't think Shanahan...
when is deep not enough anymore? You're the best team in the NFC consistently. You're the guy that everyone always picks to go all the way, but you can never convert?
Because of injury. You're blaming him, though. You're coming at him. I think it's injury that keeps stopping them. Jimmy G was very injury prone. Then they got very unlucky with what happened to Purdy. They got lucky that it happened to Lance again to get Purdy in. I don't know, man. I think healthy Purdy, they're exceptional. Darnold, from what people are saying, there might be just like what you said at the top of the NFC.
Mikey, weigh in. What you got?
I think the 49ers are a team that I'm just confounded by, and I know that they're very good, but they're so unlucky at the quarterback position with injury. Injuries are so impactful to the league. There have been so many teams you can look back on and be like, what if this guy stayed injured or stayed healthy? What if they didn't have to deal with this injury? What's that?
RG3 would have been electric.
There's so there was one season where the Steelers were going nuts and they just ran out of intact ACLs. they just kept dropping them, and they were able to hold on for a couple, but after a while, there's only so much you can do. The NFL is littered with teams that coulda, shoulda, woulda at a championship, but they had injury prone, and I fear that the 49ers have been that for the past 5 years or so.
Yeah,
I think that they've got a decent team usually. We'll see what their quarterback situation is and their injury situation.
McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, and George Kittle, that offense.
Yeah, I mean they've got the pieces in place to do something.
They'll be fantasy relevant for sure.
And then again, Craig, I think that feeds into my point is if you have all those guys, you're spending all this money. If you don't win this or next year, how do you keep Mike Shanahan as your coach?
I agree with you on. I'll agree with you on that.
And he was the one that wanted that trade for Trey Lance. He was the guy that went, so
I just think that those two things don't have to be like the reasons together. Those are two different things. If they don't win, I do think he's out. I don't think that means he has to go with Lance. I think it means he's got to win. And if Lance wins the damn job, it should be him. I just know that he hasn't done that in these practices. He's not winning the job. People, they want Purdy. They want Purdy and he's unavailable.
So I want to go now back to Terrible Town and talk about the Bucks.
Ooh, I heard Baker is struggling.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of not good things come out of
There's
Bucks
clips.
camp.
So Twitter, Mike, are you
Twitter
fucking
clips?
With Twitter clips of like, so Rodgers throwing to Wilson, all the OTA clips are coming out. Apparently, I didn't see them, but I heard that the Baker ones are rough. He can't find guys.
I saw them. They're bad.
It's that Florida heat. The humidity's been rough.
It's so hard for Baker.
What a high. He takes the Cleveland. He goes number 1. He takes Cleveland to the playoffs, wins a playoff game, becomes the progressive darling for a season and a half. They backed up the truck thinking, oh boy, we got our Pat Mahomes. We got our Aaron Rodgers. We're going to finally beat State Farm. And then Bakered it up. And it's like,
well,
man.
Baker's shoulder fell out of his body. Yeah. But I do feel bad for Progressive because those were good commercials and they could have used those for years. But then the one thing that happened that made them not able to use those commercials is he left Cleveland.
That's right.
That was the only thing that could happen. He could have retired and they still could have used those commercials. Peyton Manning's still selling chicken parm. But he left Cleveland. That was the one thing that happened that would have had to have happened for them to stop running those commercials.
Man, tough break. Bucks are gonna be trash.
Bucks. And now the Titans, I have them listed as a maybe because they drafted Will Levis in the second round, and Ryan Tannehill looks like dog shit. At least he did last season. And I know that hurts Craig's heart.
He had his flash in the pan.
He did. But he got paid again.
He's a bell curve quarterback where he had 1 or 2 really good seasons, and now he's looking like the first couple of years with the Dolphins.
Bottom third of the league for sure, but the price for quarterbacks is that high now. It's that high that the starters are just getting buku. Your real tail end are the 10 million under guys, but I think there's only like 6 to 8 of those, and he's in the 100+ mil, but he's not in the 2s or the 250s. That's the tippy top.
Yeah, I think it's going to go to Levis at some point. They're comfortable enough running the ball
for sure
20-something times a game, so I think they're comfortable
Mike
enough.
Mike thinks that's going to be bad, and Derek's either going to get hurt or suck,
or maybe both. Get hurt. And
I don't want any of them.
Why not both?
I'm keeping. I'm keeping him in 2 leagues. Fuck you both.
So I want to round out our first episode back with early MVP favorites, and I want to just get your guys' hot takes on these. Patty Mahomes sitting as the top dog plus 700, Joe Burrow plus 750, Josh Allen plus 800, tied with Jalen Hurts for plus 800, Lamar Jackson plus 1200, and then we have Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, Justin Fields, and Aaron Rodgers all tied at plus 1400. If you had to put money down today, who do you think is MVP this season?
Craig, you should go first.
Craig, you go first.
I feel very strongly about this too because, again, we're doing the whole same thing. Full health, right? Full health. It's Mahomes every year until he decides he doesn't want to play anymore. Because full health, what we've learned now about this guy is he has the competitive switch. While he has Kermit the Frog voice and some other issues or whatever, when it comes to competitiveness, it seems like he did drink from the well of Brady and has learned from Brady of how do I turn the switch to try to get better, to try to be the guy. So if he does not get hurt and they keep what they're doing, and that means bringing new talent around. Hell, I think Juju got a ring out of it before he left. They're going to keep bringing guys in, keep doing stuff. It's fucking Patrick Mahomes until what I don't want, which is injury, or he's just ready to be finished. He's Nikola Jokic of the NFL. He's more talented than everyone else. He is well liked. Jokic isn't. Jokic is not as marketable as Pat Mahomes, but I mean, the talent level, I'm sorry. I don't care that the other guys are good. There's nothing wrong with that. I would want Trevor Lawrence. I think that'd be fun to watch. Justin Fields, fun to watch. Aaron Rodgers, I don't think has a chance at it. But when healthy, it's fucking Patty Mahomes. He's just too fucking good. I love watching him play.
Mikey, who do you think?
It's a boring award because it just goes to the best quarterback in the league, which is going to be Mahomes every single year pretty much. So
that's him agreeing with me. You agreed with what I said earlier, that you both did, I guess. He's number one. There's no other in that tier.
You can't argue
and then
that.
we drop to the next tier.
Yeah. People
want to
be
put
the
Burrow
hot
and Allen there.
I'm going to take the hot take, and I'm going to say Burrow goes off this year with contract negotiations, and he's the MVP. But is that really a hot take when he's only 50 points less than Mahomes? Probably not. But I just think he's fucking nasty. He's just so good. I think he'll get an MVP or two. Just based on statistics. T. Higgins is going into contract year. He needs to
seem like a real award.
They do. You're not wrong.
You have the hatred you have for the MVP award.
The vitriol.
Where the fuck does this come from? Which Steeler was robbed of it? Because that's the only reason you would feel this way. Like, what the fuck is going on?
There are players when you take them off the bench that they impact their teams more than some of the quarterbacks who have won it in recent history. And it's really hard to argue. In football, quarterbacks are almost always the MVP anyway. So it's like yes, quarterbacks are almost always the MVP of their teams. But that makes it boring if every year you're just going to which quarterback puts up the best stats. That's really what a lot of the MVP is going after.
Well,
Aaron Donald should have won it a couple years ago. TJ Watt should have won it a couple years ago. Won it.
If it was a real award, he would have at least been considered. Because every time he's out, they lose.
Right,
it's one player on the defensive line that totally changes the whole team.
Was that the year they were on the championship trajectory or no?
It's just his entire career.
He was on a record pay. He was going to break LT's
but I
record,
think part of
Strahan's record.
Part of it's that though. If they're not on a team that's going, they'll never get it. They'll never win.
But that's not the point of the award.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know if what you're saying is true. That might be your take on it. But is that like in the literature about it? Because
I mean, it's in the name. It's not the most successful player. It's most valuable player.
No, but you're putting your own fucking bias on the definition on. Most valuable winning is the most valuable thing in football. So if people that are voting value the winning, it wouldn't matter if you had 37 sacks but your team lost. They might not still give it to you and that's why running backs struggle.
A lot of times they do. They give it to the quarterback who put up the most stats. Is almost always who it goes to.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you the last time that it didn't go to a quarterback was in 2006, and that was LaDainian Tomlinson
with his video game season.
Right, and that was the year before it went to Sean Alexander, who had the video game season that LT broke.
Yeah,
and right, that was all these teams are like almost always playoff relevant, if not very relevant. So you got Mahomes, Kansas City, the Rodgers MVP years, they were in the NFC deep in the playoffs. Lamar that year, they were in the playoffs. Mahomes, Brady, Matt Ryan. That was like a Super Bowl year or some shit, wasn't it?
Oh, I'm sorry,
Cam
2012 actually with AP, who also had video game numbers.
But
and
if
then
you
it
go
goes
down the
back to
list,
2006.
they're all fucking winners, is what I'm getting at. Not just the quarterback. That's all I think that we struggle from. If we get the Aaron Donald one resonates more because they did win that Super Bowl year. That's the year you're talking about, right, Pat, for Donald? Where he was just so disruptive, they went all the way and then they won.
Yeah.
And what year was that? Who took it instead? Aaron? Yeah, that was Aaron Rodgers. So maybe I'll give you that one, Mike, that it would have made sense. But I don't think Donald broke records or whatever would have taken to unseat a quarterback on a winning team. That's all. That's my counterpoint to your thinking.
It's hard to argue against quarterbacks. They touch the ball in every offensive play, but I do think the MVP you could argue Justin Jefferson was the MVP last year because you take him off of Minnesota and they're probably not even relevant.
But where did we get that? You take the guy off, and that means like it's like again.
I mean, how else would you
the winning
value? How would you?
Did they win
value?
or not? Did you go deep? Did you get there? NFL Honors is on purpose. It's like it's like a week before the Super Bowl. I don't even know when they do the voting or not, but they're trying to line up this award to winners, not to just people that were awesome performers in the regular season. So I just don't agree that that's what the award is.
That's not what Pat or I are saying, though. If you take somebody off the team and the team struggles without them and loses, that is a direct thing that you can look to and say, look at the value this one player provides.
But it's the most valuable player in the league, not on one team. Why are you making the argument that it's the most valuable player to one team? What they're trying to say with the award is this person is the best player anywhere. That's a different argument.
Have other awards for best players.
And they have an award for best quarterback. And it just happens that quarterback and MVP are often 99.9% of the time they're the same.
They have offensive player of the year, quarterback of the year, all of those things they have that are those stats that you're talking about.
Offensive player of the year award. I got to look up who's won that to see if it lines up 1-1. Well, no, it serves my point. They gave that to Justin Jefferson last year. MVP is not what you guys are saying it is. That's my argument.
All I'm saying, it goes to quarterbacks every year. It goes to quarterbacks. You have to put up ridiculous numbers. And
the last time it was a quarterback for offensive player of the year was 2018.
Right, because they know that they're going to give the quarterback the award for the MVP.
It's not even. You're saying it like the fix is in, and not that they're actually awarding the most valuable player on the field. To Pat's point, the quarterback is the most valuable position in all of organized sports.
If there was a real stat, Aaron Donald and TJ Watt would at least be on the number, like in the
they probably won most valuable defense or defensive player of the year. They are not. You take them off. They didn't win the title. They're not touching the ball enough times.
Only because I know the record. The Steelers are 1-10 without TJ Watt all time.
You're still talking about MVP of a team, not MVP of a league, is my argument. You guys are not willing to concede anything, and I get you, but the data proves what I'm saying is right. And
so I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Winners, they want to give the award to winners, and it's based on regular season stats, and I understand that. But you're going to call Aaron Rodgers a winner when he's been to outside of his Super Bowl, he's been to the NFC Championship game one time. He's been there a total of 2 times. Once when he won the Super Bowl, and one time he lost.
When they're voting on that, let's figure out when the voting closes, right? Because it's going to have to be based on the season's not over yet. We know that, and we don't know who won the Super Bowl yet.
Right.
So when they're voting, I think it'd be relevant to this argument of when that closes, right? Because if they're voting on the trajectory, that's why you're going to see all your MVPs were playoff teams, and sometimes your offensive players of the year were or weren't based on the records. Like the Derrick Henry Titans year, I don't remember whether they went, maybe that was the year they went to the AFC Championship, maybe not. Jefferson, the Vikings were like out in one game last year, but they still gave him
Giants.
Yeah, and they deserved that, by the way. But Justin Jefferson was correctly the best offensive player of the year. So I don't know. It's an interesting thing. I just disagree with you guys on the meaning of the award, and that's why I took umbrage with Mike saying it was a phony, because I'm like, I don't agree with that. while it goes to quarterbacks, it's because that position has become, they changed the rules for this reason, by the way. So to Mike's point, or I'll put tinfoil hat on, the league rule changes made this so. That's why you had LaDainian Tomlinson or other running backs being more relevant before. The league decided high flyers, big throws, the quarterback was going to help the league progress, and they were correct. So they fucking changed the rules of the game to make sure the quarterbacks do better. And that is also why you're seeing that shift.
So the voting for each award is done before the playoffs start, with the winners being announced the Thursday before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so they're betting on who they think is going to continue their trajectory. So if you look at the records, you're just not going to see probably a lot of MVP winners of a team that was like 9-8 or 10-7. You're going to probably see a lot of them be on the one that was front running. But they don't always win, like Lamar's, for example.
I agree.
Weren't the Ravens like 14-2?
Something like that when Lamar. But I think the point that Mike and I are trying to make is just because you're 14-2 doesn't mean, and your quarterback is Lamar Jackson, doesn't mean that he's the most valuable piece. Like the year Cam Newton won, he had an insane year, and he was most valuable player that year for sure. But like that doesn't dictate, like, he was in consideration other years and like he wasn't even close. Like there are other players on other teams that are more defensively responsible. Like I would say
the Cam year, you're correct. That's why he won both. He won Best Offensive Player and MVP, because you're right. He was both.
He was dumb.
But they're not always the same, is what I'm saying.
No, I just think MVP could be construed as like Mike said, like when TJ Watt's not on the field, that would make him the most valuable player in the league. Because if you put him on another team, what's more valuable than a player that hits a quarterback and can get to the quarterback?
That whole argument about Watt is only Steelers relevant. It is not relevant elsewhere.
Agree to disagree, my friend.
I know. I like that. That's why people are allowed to have other opinions. I just know I'm right.
That's true. We'll see. We'll see. You're right about some stuff.
We will never see that. That's a total fucking scenario we will never get to see.
Absolutely. But with that, we are going to wrap tonight's first official third episode of Going For It. We will be back eventually sometime. I'm going to post this and it'll hopefully be up on the Mondays, and we'll try and get some more content out for you guys. I'd love to do a quarterback ranking. I'd love to do a defense ranking.
You should chop this into defenses. You could cut this part, chop it into 2, and you got 2 episodes. Cut it halfway through. You know what I mean? Like, I think you can think like that. We could record as whenever is relevant, but like you could even theoretically have 3 episodes here because you just record your intro and outro, and it's real easy in Riverside. Make the QB ranking one. Make the DeAndre Hopkins, Dalvin Cook, and expectations another. Make the MVP into that argument we just had. Make that a 3rd episode. You've got good content there that can be more digestible for a listener. A 2-hour rip is tough, dude. It's tough, but that's just my take. Mike might have a different take on that.
Especially off season, it's easy to do that.
Yeah. I think off season will be good.
I think you got 3. But that's, again, do what you want to do.
I'm gonna stop this.